Hello.
I can stand
Hello.
by here. No, I'm in another show. Stand by here. I'm in a different show. Hold on here. So I'm actually in 2 shows at one time, ladies and gentlemen. So that was interesting. So yeah, welcome everybody. I had another guy who was talking to me. I'm like, that is not who I'm supposed to be with right now. So welcome everybody to Perfectly Pagan Community More with Grizzly on the Hunt. Yeah, let's do some Hollywood squares here. I'm like, who am I talking to? He's like, are you doing my show? I'm like, no, I'm not doing your show. Your show's not until another hour from now. So I had to bail out of his show. So yeah, that was interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I've done 2 shows at once. So how's everybody doing? Shay and everybody. So introduce yourselves.
Well, I am Lady Shay. I am the owner of Perfectly Pagan Magazine, which is a free digital magazine for pagans of all paths. And that's it. That's what I do.
I'm Holly Broderick, also known as the Fairy God's Mother. I'm the editor for that magazine, Perfectly Pagan, that she was talking about. I'm also the co-owner of Psychics and Swears and the full owner of Holly Be Healing, psychic medium and oracle card reader, and I do guided meditations and help Grizzly solve some of his murder cases and all good stuff. How about you?
Yeah, she does. Absolutely. And here's this stranger over here. I wear my sunglasses at night.
Oh, it's still daytime, technically.
We just got off of a reading,
isn't it?
Yeah. This is Johnny.
Did you? I forgot. The guy in UK is at nighttime. I forgot. So yeah, that's who's on the other phone with me.
Oh, we're the U.S.
Yep.
That really messed me up. It really did. That really, because I mean, he was talking to. I'm like, what? So the accent did not match you all at all.
No.
Well, no, it's got to be what, like 10:30,
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like 5-7 hours ahead. So hello, Kelly. Welcome to the show.
Who you are, you big weirdo? Who are you?
I'm John Shaden. I'm also a writer for Psychics and I am a co-founder of Psychics and Swears, and I'm a writer for Perfectly Pagan magazine.
Awesome.
Pendulum
nice
reader.
to have you all. Nice to have you on the show. Welcome, FDL Paranormal. Welcome, Crazy Witch. So what are we going to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, I was figuring we'd talk about the magazine a little bit and what's going on with it and what is going to be going on soon. And got a book project that we're working on.
Awesome.
And so got all kinds of stuff.
Awesome.
I know.
So how is the magazine coming along?
Coming along, we usually get, sometimes if we do all the times if we ever do events, we get like a big surge of subscribers. Otherwise, it's, a little bit here, a little bit there. So it is steadily growing. I think we're up to about 400 subscribers right now. So, wow. And then we're going to be doing a pagan fair in September. And that's when we usually add a lot of subscribers when we go to that. We did last year. So looking forward to that.
Well, that's awesome.
Would love to have you down for some of our events if ever you could, because I feel like you do a much better job than I do at getting people to subscribe. Plus I'm trying to do readings and such, but I feel like we tell people about it, we give people the information, and once in a while we get a couple sign-ups off of our stuff. But I feel like if we had you there, Shay, once in a while, come see us.
I could probably arrange that at some point. Yes, I think that would be awesome. When we do any kind of events, we have like a prize wheel, and you spin if you sign up on your phone or whatever for the magazine, it's free. Sign up and then show me that you signed up, and then you get to spin the wheel and get a prize. We usually give like either a crystal or a charm or little tiny rubber duckies, which were a huge hit at the last event that we did. It was awesome.
Last summer, we were at an event all together. Johnny and I came up to New Hampshire at a New Hampshire event with Shay, and she had all these little rubber duckies, and people were coming to us from all over the place going, "Are you the table with the duckies?
You're the duck people." And I'm like,
that is hilarious.
Yes, we are. Spin, sign up, spin the wheel, and you'll get a duck, that kind of thing. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I ordered the ducks. I don't know if I have one within arm's reach, but I ordered these rubber ducks, and I thought they were going to be like regular rubber duck size. They are not. So I get the thing, oh, your package has been delivered. So I go out to the front door, no box. I'm like, what? And there's this little envelope that's like this big, and it has these little rubber ducks that are about that big. And I said, oh, those are a lot smaller than I thought they were going to be. And so I took them to the event just as like a fluke, because I'm like, well, I got them, I might as well. And people loved them. Like, I've already had to order another shipment of them because people just think that they're the best thing ever. Because I take them to every event.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, they just love them. They think it's great. So.
Our pens go too.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, we have our pens.
Yeah.
Little perfectly pagan pins.
And
those are very popular.
We need more of those.
I have plenty.
Everybody loves pens.
Yeah, you can't not get rid of pens,
That's true.
Shay, recently that very same thing with the rubber duckies that you're talking about happened to us with crystals. I'll show you. I was expecting each crystal to be about this big and to be getting 100 of them. These are the crystals.
Yeah. I think I have that exact same. I do. I have that exact same pack. Yes.
It's
yeah.
Because we do mystery crystal bags where we put little crystals in a bag for anybody who gets a reading and whatever, and we give them a pen that says Perfectly Pagan on it, and we do these little bags that I crochet, and I put the crystals in there, and we give it all away as a package. It's every event that we do. Normally they're crystals this size. Now they're going to be crystals this size.
Put 2 of them in there.
You just compensate, add extra
well,
stuff.
that's what we'll be doing. But
I've done that before, ladies and gentlemen. I order stuff and be like, dude, what? It's like, unbelievable, pictures does not do anything justice, right? So, yeah. So what is if you all could, in your comments, put how they can get on the email list, and I'll copy and paste it so everybody can click on that and sign up.
Right.
So I want to share that for you guys. Because I know y'all got some, Missy. Yes, what happened to my beard? I did not read the instructions. And I got busy, and I left it in too long, and I was like, what? And it wouldn't come out. So, yes. So, yes, that's what happened. So yeah.
I like it.
It is. So, yeah. I know, right? But it is real. It does not come off. It's not one of those little ones with the little Velcro or the little string. So it is.
Yes,
it is real. Yeah.
So I went ahead and put that link in there for you. So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share this with you guys so y'all can sign up, give them some love and some support here. And there you go.
And so, Crazy Witch is on the list because, they said that they're on the list, and has also, sent me an email back with comments, if I remember correctly. So I appreciate that. I always love to get feedback from the list and the magazine and all that stuff. So,
Crazy Witch is like, 100% right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
Crazy
I-
Witch is all about that magazine. Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
I always love to know, you know, when people say they read the magazine, I always love to know what type of article is their favorite type of article. So if you guys do read the magazine, if you do read Perfectly Pagan, let us know. Tell us which types of articles are your favorite, because I know between Shay and I, we write a good portion of it, and Johnny certainly has his pieces, which are always interesting and always
interesting, always different.
You're my lovable oddball.
Never boring, I assume.
It's like you have Love, Flowers, and Sunshine, and then you have John, and then like you do have a spectrum in here, but yeah. So it's always interesting.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's very flattering to hear.
I love your stuff because it's such a juxtaposition for some of the other stuff that's in there.
As long as it's not boring. That's what it is.
Well, that was the reason,
isn't it?
Yeah.
As a writer.
Yeah, that's the whole reason, you know, one of the reasons why I wanted you to write for the magazine, because I knew that it would be a very different perspective from everybody else that was in there, and that's what I wanted.
Crazy.
I have to say,
he loves the dynamic.
I know that the first one that he submitted, I'm going, okay, this is going to be a ride. All right, I'm all for it. I think it was the second month that we had this very long discussion about censorship, because I had a dilemma with the platform that we were on, and I'm like, okay, I gotta, and so we did. We had, I feel we had a very good discussion about it, and made what I feel was a very minor concession, you know, as far as like whatever, just to basically keep us from getting kicked off the magazine platform we use. So I basically did the bare minimum.
That actually changes perspectives, doesn't it? Yeah, I had to learn a lot about that recently, a lot. And I'm like, do what? You can't do this, that, do that, and this. You can't say this, that, and do that. You can't even perform this and that while you're talking. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So yes.
It was a minor concession. It didn't hurt the flow of my writing, and it gave us an avenue to be read by a larger audience. So it would be selfish for me to be like, no, I'm gonna be steadfast on this. As long as I can convey my thoughts, and I have a pretty vast vocabulary. Yeah, I can get my point across. I mean, the occasional expletive has its use, of course, but
here's the interesting thing, though. When, like I said, you know, we were like the Love, Flowers, and Sunshine crowd, and then John joins. And so when you submit the magazine to the platform, if they find anything that's objectionable, usually it's a bad word, you know, they put you in the sandbox, basically, is what it is, right? Until you figure out, oh, shoot, I missed that, whatever. So it was probably either the second or third one after Johnny started, and I had 3 writers who had previously never uttered a curse word in their articles that submitted them with that. And I'm like, I'm totally cool with that, but just letting you know that I'm going to have to edit the same thing that I do with John's articles. And so he is like totally a bad influence, and we love it. So,
that was
proud of it as well.
I actually remember that very magazine, that very issue. I almost said episode, but
feels like it sometimes.
I remember that very one because that was my one about Kali.
Yeah,
that was a good article.
Yeah, that was my article about Kali. I apologize. My phone is brand new, and I haven't figured out yet how to turn off all the sounds. So
you got a new phone, yay!
Yep, but we've had an interesting day because of me having a new phone versus my old phone, and
other one took a dip.
And what happens when your new phone is on Pacific time and your old phone is on Eastern Standard Time?
You mean
yeah, right?
What's that?
Huh?
That's the yeah, right? I know
Well,
that feeling.
all of
Darn tootin'.
my stuff in the calendar was showing up differently, and
Yeah.
oh Lord. Anyway, that's been fixed, thankfully.
Well, that's good.
Just in time
I
for the
am
show.
glad.
Why
And so
did
a couple of new things that are going to be coming up. We are planning on starting a podcast. That is going to probably be in August. We're targeting that. Thought we were going to be able to do it sooner. That did not happen. So August, that's what we're shooting for.
Well, that's good.
And so I think we're going to start, and I know Holly and I have talked about this a little bit, but it's been a while. I would really like the first article that she wrote for the magazine was I'm going to butcher but it's how to respond to friends and family that don't approve of you being pagan.
7 ways to handle
7 ways.
Family that don't approve. Something to that effect. Yeah.
Something to that effect. I do have a copy of that cover somewhere, but yeah, something to that effect. So, and so I would like that first podcast to be about that topic. I think that it's something that is very relevant. And I think that it would be very helpful to people. And so I think that's the first episode that we're going to do is how to handle that.
Oh, I feel the love.
All the love.
I think that'd be a good subject matter.
I think so. I think that I think it's very relevant to a lot of people. I'm in a bunch of different groups, and I think that it is something that people struggle with a lot. Especially, I'm sure I know some areas are more accepting than others. But there are a lot of people that are struggling because friends and family don't approve. Not so much friends as much family. Like you kind of choose your friends, but family you don't. So it's,
you need to get better friends.
Right. But you still have to go over for Thanksgiving dinner or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's hard.
The thing is too with friends, it's like you can think that they are accepting and whatever until you tell them, no, I really don't believe the same thing that you believe. I believe in this. And they go, well, you're wrong. You go, according to who? And it's so it sometimes they come across like they're really accepting until they come across something that they just don't understand. And that's basically what it is. It's a lack of understanding. It's not most of the time it's a fear thing because I know for me, I grew up in a household that was full of fear. I grew up in an Irish Catholic household.
Yeah, religion is such a personal thing that I can't. It's one of the religion or spirituality. It's one of those things that I don't even understand how it would come up in like a friendship unless you're actively I don't know.
So there's an interesting question there, and it says, I must ask because I'm ignorant. Are y'all like anti-Christian? And I feel like that's a very personal question. For me, I'm not really anti anybody's religion. I'm just anti mean to me. Don't be mean to me. Don't be, horrible to me, and we're going to be cool no matter what your religion is. I do understand there are some people that are very anti-Abrahamic faiths in general, because of the history between the pagans and the people who, and the Christians and the whole thing. For me, I feel like initially I was, but more so because of my own personal upbringing and the people that I had to deal with in coming out with my own religious beliefs. but I can't answer for everybody who's pagan. I mean, we can't even all decide on what it is that we all believe in. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's my point. You know, if you were trying to tell somebody, you know, that has no knowledge, you know, if you wanted to express what a pagan is, how would you tell them? What would you explain to them?
The simplest down to a paganism as a whole is an umbrella term that encompasses many different practices, ethnic backgrounds, different regions of different countries. Paganism is basically anything beyond the Abrahamic faith, which would be Christianity, Islam, Judaism.
And the other thing is, as far as going back to being anti-Christian, it's not anti-Christian, but we do ask for equal access. So if there's an acceptance of wearing a cross in public, shouldn't I be able to wear a symbol for the triple moon goddess, or, you know, that kind of thing, like, or a pentacle or a pentagram or whatever, you know what I mean? And I think that's where I personally have an issue with, if it is acceptable for someone to openly display their Christian faith, then I should be able to openly display my faith.
I agree. I agree with that statement. And to go back to Grizzly's question, like, what is a pagan? You know, and I want to expound a little bit on what Johnny said about just being outside of the Abrahamic faiths. I think one of the big things that connects us all is that we don't necessarily believe in just one god or one goddess. In most of the time, or I would even say all of the time, I'd venture to say that all of the time we believe in at least more than one deity, more than one god or one goddess. It's and some of us like certain gods from certain areas of the world, and others, you know, like to go with others, and some people take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and you know, and it's very eclectic.
It tends to be polytheistic a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And you also have others, like, for example, some Wiccans are very, I would say, pretty strict on their path. You know what I mean? And so it just depends on what you feel. It's very different paths available to you. And like Holly said, you can create your own path. You can, you know, find what works for you. And so that's one of the things that drew me to it. I think somebody asked on here about, do we do spells? I do.
Yep.
So
me too.
That answer is yes. Yes, we do.
But not all pagans do.
Not all pagans do.
We do.
And you can have a pagan witch. You can just have, you know, a witch. You can have a Wiccan witch. You can have all kinds of different things.
Yep, pretty much.
A lot of people don't know, and that's why a lot of people are afraid, and a lot of people are judgmental because they see what they know all from TV and what people talk about.
Oh, good Lord.
And they don't know.
I pity them.
Right. That is correct.
Oh, yeah. I just watched, there was something on Netflix that had, the crux of it was, there was this ancient rune that they found and blood got on it, and so it cast this demon, you know, whatever. Love the show. Don't get me wrong. It was great, but it's like, stuff like that.
We watched The Craft.
Oh,
Like,
if you wanna overdose on 90s cheese, please watch The Craft. It is hilarious.
I love. I just saw the last message. It says, "If what you believe in works for you, then that's
exactly
it. Then that's what matters, and that's true."
Religion is the most selfish activity on earth. It is unbelievably personal, and one thing that's very annoying are people who can't help but throw their faith at you. actively.
Um,
It's, for me personally, aesthetically annoying.
I'll never forget one year I put a Happy Someone post up. Just a post on Facebook on my own page. And I got told by certain family members, distant family members, that I was going to be going to hell for practicing witchcraft, which was quite entertaining for me because I don't believe in hell. But that's a whole other thing, you know. I just
yeah, there's so many different beliefs and I mean flavors, and I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it's, you know, don't judge, and that's the way people are these days, and it's just amazing, right? And they see what they see on TV, the rumor, the gossip mill and stuff, and next thing you know, it's total opposite than what the actual religion or what you all believe in or what people believe in is far from the truth.
I mean, personally, go ahead and judge me. You can judge me. You have the right to hate me. Just don't try to actively crush me. You know, your right stops at, or my right to be whoever I am stops at me. You know, as long as I am harming nobody.
I'm absolutely loving the discussion that's happening between the people that are watching, saying like TV is real. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're totally kidding.
Yeah, right.
See,
I love it. It's
yeah,
I mean,
Sam. Well said. It's what makes us individuals.
Absolutely.
I fight for the right to be left alone, as long as I'm harming nobody without their consent.
Yep. Without their consent.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to keep it straight.
As long as I'm not doing that.
I think I just turned like 5 shades of red.
We're all friends here, you know.
Yeah, we are. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. Sam says, I second that motion. All right, Sam. I will pass and judge, and we'll make that an act. So, yes, thank you, Sam. But no, I totally agree with that. It is amazing, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to throw that link back up there. Make sure y'all sign up. I see a couple people already signed up. They said in the comments. Good. Keep make sure and share that link with everybody too, ladies and gentlemen.
Buckle up.
Sorry about that. Missy says, heck is a place for people who don't believe in gosh. I'm going to steal that. I love that.
Now, Missy is a jokester. She will have you out of your chair and on the floor rolling. I just let you know that. Yes.
I saw one come across the screen earlier.
Yeah, she used to set me up during my shows because I would not pre-read things, right? I would read them as they come, and I would like, damn you, Missy. I'm like, I just, yeah, she would set me up, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I had to be careful with
Missy.
her. Crazy Witch loves the acceptance between people and completely different beliefs. Absolutely. Brian from Canada, we all should be open-minded to other people's religions and faiths. Yeah.
Well said, Brian from Canada.
Absolutely.
If Johnny and I weren't accepting of different beliefs, there's no way we could be together.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
Love, light, and flowers. Not love, light, and flowers.
Remember that love, flowers, and sunshine thing I said? And then there's John down here, like
John
doing his
thing.
thing.
There's love, light, and flowers, and there's John.
And then there's John. And
That's
there were a
perfect.
few
That was
shades.
funny.
There are a few shades in there, but they were mostly up here. And then there's John. And
The howling abyss.
That is funny.
You ever hear the sound of wind?
That is funny.
Tunnel?
And now,
but we love John. He's our resident, left-hand path
And
person.
one unto you as well. Cult of John.
The cult of John.
Now, we all love John. I'm not going to deny that. Now, somebody said in the beginning something about a book.
Yes.
You know
we
about
have we have two book projects that I have planned. One of them is farther along in planning than the other. So I can actually give a link about it. It is called Paganism in the Bible Belt. And so it is, I'm looking for interviews for people who are pagan and they either have lived or do live in the Bible Belt. And the interviews are all anonymous. It's literally like you click into a Google form and submit it that way. So it's completely anonymous. But I want the good and the bad. So I'm looking for what your experiences are, but have you also had people from other religions embracing you? How have things gone with friends and family? And so it really is, I grew up in the South. And so I've only been up in New England for 7 years now. And I'm certainly not in my 20s. So I lived in the South for a long time. And so,
Right.
And so I know how things were for me. But I want to so I could write a book about paganism in the Bible Belt, but I don't want it to just be about me. I want to get the experiences of other people and share that with other people, right? And the book I view as having two purposes. First, it's to share people's stories and to raise awareness and whatever. But also, I want other pagans that are in the Bible Belt that might be hiding who they are, to know that they're not alone and have resources for online communities or how to find, how to find organizations that are pagan friendly, that kind of thing, and how to connect with other people who share your beliefs or are accepting of your beliefs. And so that's kind of.
Yeah, you have friends out there.
If you have friends out there.
I've never lived in the Bible Belt myself.
Yeah.
I certainly have family members though that live there, so that's fun. Is in the internet age, even if you don't live there and you know people there, you are still affected.
I've been through this fine and grand country many times, and I've seen the Bible Belt in all its splendor and squalor, and I can understand why people would want to stay closeted. I don't know, for lack of a better term. But, times are changing.
I just saw somebody posted something about, people hate me because I'm a medium. Yeah.
They hate me because I'm a large, sir.
Boo.
So bad.
I get that same thing because I'm also a medium, and it freaks people out and it scares them, and then they decide that they hate me because They don't understand what I do. They think that I'm talking to some evil spirits or something like that. And
that's what we do for kicks. Our occupation is speaking to the dead.
You're goofy.
Yeah.
But I can't understand why that would freak people out. Like, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Or like, you know, it makes some sense. Like, it isn't, I can understand why that's intimidating to people.
Stingray, I just want to make something clear here.
Stingray, my man.
It's, no, we're not cutting down the South.
Oh, I have no beef with the South.
No,
it
is sharing the stories and experiences of people.
Yeah, it's the Bible Belt portion of this country where some things are accepted and some things are not as well accepted, and it's, you know, it can be difficult to be different wherever you are. But in our situation, having the religious beliefs that we have, it's especially difficult in this country, in certain parts of the country more than others. Yeah. And that's really what it comes to. That's
when you're the oddball out, it's very easy to be misjudged and treated less than. And nothing breeds that faster than ignorance or intolerance. But you know, let me say, and to your credit, sir, I have also met the kindest people in the South. I've seen both sides of the coin. So,
you know, it's really funny that I just noticed the walls behind us sort of indicate where we are on our paths. The light and the dark.
And I also want to be very clear as far as the scope of the book. The book is not to denigrate the South or the Bible Belt or whatever you want to say. It is to share the experiences of people who have been there, good and bad. And so if you look at the questions, you will see, what are the positive experiences that you've had? What are the, whatever, along with, the negative experiences. And it's just asking people to share what their experience is.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a big secret that the Bible Belt can be a tad intolerant. So, on the outside of Judeo-Christianity, like, it's, come on. Who are we kidding here?
And I do think that things in some ways are probably getting better. I mean, I lived almost 50 years in the South, so, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I just spent my summers there. I think that we are seeing progress, and part of the hope is that this book is going to help promote more progress. And so,
my understanding of it, and Shay, this is really your baby, and so forgive me if I'm saying anything that's incorrect, but my understanding of it is that it's more about getting people to understand each other rather than picking on one type of person or another. Yeah.
The way that we change minds and we change hearts is through stories. And that is why I'm doing this. These are the stories of people that this is their experience. And so I did put the link in the private chat. I don't know if you want to share that for the book, so that you can learn more about the project. If you want to participate, great. But it explains about the book, and then it has a link to the questionnaire in there as well. And that's why we're not going to change anything if everybody stays quiet. And so I expect to get a lot of flack for publishing this book, but that's the way it is. That's the only way that you're going to change anything is to share stories and face whatever questions and criticism that you have.
Damn straight. Well said.
Thank you.
I think education is a lot. It has to deal with a lot of stuff. And people just don't know a lot of things. So, and there's a link, ladies and gentlemen.
Knowing things and understanding things are...
I do introduction to paganism class here locally. I'm going to have another one in a few weeks. And the one that I'm having in a few weeks, I'm actually going to invite religious leaders from different churches to come to it so that they can learn about paganism. So we'll see how that goes.
Can I be a fly on the wall?
Sure.
Like back there, fly on the wall.
That'd be interesting.
But it's going to be an invitation. There is actually an organization that is a few doors down from my office, and they are Muslim. And every Saturday, they have an event where you can come and sit and talk with somebody and learn about Islam, right? And I thought, what a cool idea, because you can come in and you can ask your questions and what have you. And so I'm doing this introduction to paganism class. And like I said, I am going to be inviting all different pastors and religious leaders to this event. So it could be a hoot. We'll see what happens. It's the first one where I'm going to be inviting. I have a local pagan group, and a lot of people that join the group are trying to learn more about paganism. So I usually just have the event within the group. So this is going to be the first one that's going to be publicized, and hey, come on down. And oh, by the way, Pastor, Fred, would you like to come over and learn about paganism? And so we'll be seeing how many death threats I get from doing this.
You read my mind.
This is why I love you. This is why I love you, Shay, because you have.
Wow.
It's not that you don't have the fear. It's that you go, you know what, this could very well happen, and I'm going to feel this fear, and I'm going to do it anyway. And I feel like that's pretty awesome. I just missed whatever comment was up there.
Hello, Brian.
Bringing it back. Yeah,
that's what it says.
Yeah, she has principles and she stands by them, and that's admirable.
I figure if it goes badly, I'm still going to do it again. But if it goes well, then I'll do it more frequently. So I think that I think it's something that's important. I think that it is. I'm going to be having it at a local Unitarian Universalist church, which is very welcoming to pagans, and
cool.
Do that.
What about
Okay, so Stingray wants to know, would you at that same token learn about Islam and Christianity, or is it one-way street with you guys? So I was Christian for a number of decades, so I think I kind of know it.
Catholic, Stingray.
Yeah, and Islam, sure, I'd absolutely sit down and talk to somebody about that.
Shit, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss, but I'll
Can't help it. We know it.
Anyone, I'll talk to anybody.
It's definitely not a one-way street for me, and I was raised mostly Irish Catholic, but a little bit Episcopalian also, and gone to a few Baptist church. I've gone to several synagogues, and for friends and whatever, and had plenty of discussions on that. I've celebrated different Muslim things with my Muslim friends, and had discussions about Hinduism with my Hindu friends, my Hindu friends. And like, I'm open to all of that. The one thing that I feel like is just a constant is don't squish what I believe, and don't hurt me. And I'm not going to come at you. But I'm also very, very real on where, the on where the holidays, different holidays, traditions came from. And if you've read, a lot of the articles that I've written about said subject, I feel like I try to be as fair as I can, even though I do have a lot of passion about that stuff, because it has angered me over the years, that so much has been stolen straight up stolen from other religions. But as far as having that discussion with other people go and learning about different religions, I'm totally down.
Yeah, when it comes to having discussions about who or what I am or what I believe and vice versa, I'm willing to have that discussion with anybody. You want to come to me, you want to learn about something that I know, you want to try to teach me something, I'm always willing to have that discussion. You come to me with ill intent or malice, and I will bury you. Plain and simple.
And so Stingray says, I'm not against what you guys are doing. I come as a friend, but it just seems like paganism is the easy way out. Do it that well. So why should it be hard? Like, what's wrong with having a religion that makes you have peace and you enjoy it? You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be a chore and it shouldn't be hard. I mean, do what you want, but
there's nothing more strenuous than liberty. It's one of the most heavy burdens a person can carry. That's a lot of responsibility to own your shit.
But
pardon my language.
That's
what being who I am is spiritually.
There's a little bit of an issue that I'm having with the statement that was made, though.
Yeah, me too.
And the issue is that within paganism is a broad spectrum term, much like Christianity is a broad spectrum term where they're all different denominations.
Yeah, as far as do it thou wilt, you want to talk about Thelema, you want to talk about Aleister Crowley, I'm willing to have that discussion.
Can I finish my thought, Milo?
Yeah, sorry, I'm on defense.
But it's a broad umbrella term for a whole bunch of different types of religions, and and again, there are some that are eclectics. There are some that have really straightforward paths. I think that was Jay that said that. And so within that, there are people that are very, very dedicated and very much, you do it this way. This is the way that I do it. This is how it should be done. And they have these rituals and these regimens and whatever that they follow. So it's not an easy way.
Nothing easy about it.
Unless that is your version of it. Does that make sense? Because again, there's all different denominations. And I don't think that religion necessarily has to be difficult. I don't feel like it has to be something that you have to, put down your life for. Just to,
Well, I think that's the problem. I think a lot of people in this society and world, it's either my way or the highway. And
Bingo.
If you don't believe what I believe in, then you're wrong.
And
Bingo.
you can have that in paganism as well. I mean, some people are, have that attitude. You're doing this wrong. You're not, whatever. So, I mean, it's not.
And we can take this into the paranormal realm. We can take this into the Bigfoot realm. We can take this into the cryptid realm. Dogman, werewolves, vampires, and everything else. And I see it across the board. So, and you got to be open-minded. Just because I don't agree with you saying, some people say it's a flesh and blood creature only, and some people say it's a spiritual animal or beast. I say it's both, and some people say you're baloney. And they all get hell bent, and it's like, well, I'm sorry. So it's no matter what topic it is, nobody's always going to agree with whatever subject matter it is. So
exactly,
absolutely. So
many people have had to lay down their lives for their beliefs. It's not really a funny topic to me. And that's the thing. I'm not laughing at anybody that's had to lay down their life for their beliefs at all. It's not a funny topic. I'm just saying that that you shouldn't have to, is my point. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to feel like you're going to be judged or killed or beaten because of what you believe. And you also shouldn't have to feel like your religion it is such that you die a little bit every day just to do it. It's what I'm trying to say.
Unfortunately, we live in America, and you can practice what you want.
Exactly.
So,
as long as it feeds your soul, and as long as it is helping you, and you're not trying to force everybody else to do it, then go for it. You know what I mean? Like, yes. But I also know that learning about other paths, whether it is paganism, Islam, Christian, whatever, right? As far as religion, sometimes people are in a religion because their family was in that religion and it's not feeding their soul. And so by helping people explore other opportunities and options, then they might be able to find something that does resonate with them.
Tiffany just nailed it.
Well said, Tiffany.
She said, I think the issue is ignorance. Once you research things, you realize reality is subjective, and a lot is the same with the different name, and we're all in it together.
I don't know if reality is subjective, but religious, spiritual nourishment is subjective.
Your reality is subjective.
Oh,
your
perspective. Yes, okay, yeah, fair enough.
So
yeah.
And now, Shay, I want to bring something back because there's a second book that you were talking about, and this.
There is a second book. Actually, there are two other books. I'm working on a psychic book with Grizzly, and so I'm excited about that. And there's also a book that is in the planning stages, but not quite fully formed, about basically interviews with witches who chose to walk the witchy path, why they did it, how they're doing it, and basically it's interviews and talking about who they are, what they do, and why they do it, and why they love it.
That's going to be rad.
I agree.
Because again, it's about sharing stories, and I'm hoping that having again, I could write a book about that, but who wants to just read about one person when you can read about the experiences of 20 or 30 people and find out how they came across witchcraft or being a witch, how long they've been doing it, what they were doing before, all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited about that one too, but I don't have that one quite ready to go yet. So that's why I don't have a blog post for it yet.
Oh, I would love to tell that story.
I know, right? It's going to be awesome. That one, when I posted on the Facebook page, we did get a few reactions from that one. Yay, we can't wait, so I'm excited.
No matter what you're going to do, you're always going to have, reactions, whether it's positive or negative. But I did repost the links, ladies and gentlemen. Please check them out. I've got another show coming up in 4 minutes. I'm thankful for having you back on the show. We're going to have you back on the show to get some more updates because we got to talk about your store. We didn't get to mention about your store.
That's true. We didn't.
Updates on that. So we'll get that scheduled and get some more information going on that as well.
Real quick, I have people that are asking about the books. If you sign up for the list, you will get all of the emails updating you about the upcoming books with interviews and everything else. Okay, I'm done.
I'm excited.
And, yes, would y'all like to say anything else before we wrap up? Holly and John?
Psychics and Swears, check us out, get a reading, buy some whatever, give us some money.
Whatever.
I have my music projects, Murum Black Metal, check them out. Awesome band. Gnashing Teeth, that's my weird industrial music. Go check it out. Give it a listen on BandLab.
And just know that if you do purchase anything that I've made for the crochet stuff, that each one does have a spell on it for health healing and
sorry.
Health healing and protection. So you are so goofy today.
I'm the worst.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, from coast to coast and around the world, that's a wrap. and we'll see you next show. Godspeed, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.